We are live. Okay. So I've let a few participants in. We'll wait for a minute or two so that we can have more people joining in. We are already live on Facebook. I'll quickly keep an eye on that as well. So we have basically granted entry to the first 50 registrations who came in for our panel discussion today. So that's why we have around 50 odd participants who will join us directly on Zoom, and the rest of the participants will be viewing us through Facebook Live. So we'll start in another minute. Let us have a few more participants join in.
Make me a co-host, please. You will go crazy later.
Done. Sure. We have participants joining us on Facebook as well. I can see a few people logging in. So for all the participants who are logged in with us on Zoom, just a request, please keep yourself on mute so that we can have our panelists have an uninterrupted flow of the discussion. In case you have any questions, please put it across on the chat option. We will try and answer as many questions as possible. In case there are still few more left, you can definitely put it on our Facebook page and we'll try and answer that after the session is over. So I think let's start. We are already 3 minutes beyond time. So hello everyone, good morning and welcome to our panel discussion by the Unicorn people. This is in line with what we had last week and the topic remains the same, stay employable during COVID-19. Today we have with us a seasoned panel of HR professionals from across industries with a diverse experience range. So you can feel free to ask questions across industries, whatever doubts you might have, and we'll have the panelists directly answer those. First, I'd like to welcome Mr. Vikram Nayak. He is the head HR at L&T-NxT. He has over 22 years of experience across industries, engineering and construction, technology and design. He's an expert in talent acquisition, leadership hiring, performance and rewards, and talent management. Bikram has also been recently conferred with the TAPI Young HR Leader Award in 2019. Congratulations, Vikram, all the accolades that you have been receiving through the years. Second of all, I would like to welcome Ms. Deepika Kaur. Ms. Deepika is a senior manager at EisnerAmper. She is the campus lead for the India division of EisnerAmper and has been recruiting across campuses like ICAI, ICFI, MET, and other financial institutions. She has experience across talent acquisition, talent management, coaching, and mentoring. She has over 10 years of experience in the industry. Welcome, Deepika. Welcome to the panel today. Lastly, I'd like to welcome Jodie Balasubrahmanyam. Jyoti has 5 years of experience across startups like Cars24, Freight Bro, Prop Tiger, and currently she is working with PandoCorp. She has experience in HR business partnering and HR strategic management for the startup ecosystem. So that's where Jyoti brings in her experience. Welcome, Jyoti, to the panel.
Rashi.
So I think, so first of all, I'd like Bikram, if you could throw a little light about yourself, about the industry that you're working with and how you are coping with COVID-19. Vikram, I'd request you to unmute yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Rashi. Thank you for the nice introduction.
So, dear Bandhana, Rasi, co-panelist Deepika, Jyoti, and hundreds of people who are watching live through Facebook and Zoom, a very good afternoon to all of you. And at the outset, let me congratulate Rasi and Bandhana and the Unicorn people for bringing up this wonderful webinar series. I'm very glad that you keep us engaged, keep the stakeholders engaged. Good job, guys. Thank you so much. You have already introduced me. Now let me talk about my organization, L&T. I represent L&T, which is a 82-year-old company. And a few years back, we are one of the best engineering and construction company in the country. But going forward with the change in business and the scenario, our strategic intent and plans that we will be focusing more on technology, and going forward we will become one of the finest technology company in the world. And I'm very glad that today we have not one or two IT companies within L&T. We have 4 IT companies within Larsen & Toubro. It all started with L&T Infotech, then L&T Technology Services, then recently we acquired Mindtree, and the 4th piece is the L&TNXT. L&TNXT is again a platform and product company. We create various products in IoT, AI, ML, geospatial technologies, and we have our clients within L&T group companies, and then we have started our business within India. Going forward, our main focus will be in US market. That is the product business. And we are also creating a lot of platforms like the EduTech platform, the FinTech platform for our L&T group. Now coming to the topic, the today's topic, stay employable during COVID-19. So let me take some time and speak about which are the businesses or industries is going to flourish in the COVID-19 or post-COVID-19 era. If 3 businesses which are coming to mind are, the first one is the gaming industry or gaming business. Today, during the lockdown time, my 9-year-old son is busy with his mobile games, minimum or 3 to 4 hours in a day, playing games in the mobile, whether it is Candy Crush Saga, 3D Sniper, soccer, or cricket real, that rally. He's into everything, and in the current situation, I can't stop him. He's enjoying it, so I thought, okay, I'll let him be of his own. And the gaming companies, they are also rising to the occasion. They are bringing new features in their games. Remotely, they are adding a lot of banners. While guys are playing the games, they are adding banners in the game itself from a virtual environment. Some COVID-19 messages like stay at home, save lives, like that. Last week, I have a friend, Tony Evans. He is a vice president business development in a London-based gaming company called Codemasters. Last week, he messaged me, hey Vikram, how are you? How are things? In Codemasters, we have come with a new feature in our Dart Rally. And when the person is playing the game, when the vehicle is reaching near the pit stop or near any obstacle, near the track, there will be some kind of banners like stay at home, be safe, stay healthy, all this kind of thing. This is very interesting and keeps everybody up to date what is happening. Even the kid or old generation or every startup people, they can enjoy what is real time happening. So that's going to be a game changer. And the skill sets which required for this kind of industries are, again, coding specialist, animation specialist, people who have knowledge with AR, VR, that is augmented reality and virtual reality. So these are the skills which will be in demand in future. Then second industry which is going to flourish is the edutech business. Now I will shift my attention from my son to my daughter. My daughter is studying in class 10th, and naturally when you are in class 10th you have to be a bit serious about your studies. Today her math teacher, the private math teacher, teaching her through Zoom. Today all her school teachers, they are teaching students through classroom app. She is also learning from the Byju's app, and also she is taking coaching in Akash through Zoom. The Akash tutorials, the teachers, they're teaching through Zoom, everything online, and she has adopted it well. And I was telling that L&T is coming up with the edutech business, and we are perfectly timing this platform business. In near future, you will see we have L&T edutech, and through that platform, we will offer courses in project management, project planning, and skill development to millions and millions of students, working professionals, to stay employable and to be employable, because the certificates which they will get from L&T will make them employable anywhere, because that is the rigor of the course. Very interesting things are happening. And the final one, very interesting, and which is going to be a game changer, is the home delivery e-commerce business. Today we all are suffering, where we will get our vegetables, groceries, the roti, basically roti kapda makan, the roti comes first. I'm very glad that Facebook has have alliance with Reliance. Earlier this week, Mark Zuckerberg has purchased 9.9% share of Reliance Jio, and MDA Mukesh Dhirubhai Ambani, he has already announced that very shortly they are going to start JioMart. And through the JioMart platform, they are going to tie up with WhatsApp, and they will bring around 30 million Kirana shop owners to one platform. And that is going to help us getting our vegetables and groceries in quick time at our doorsteps. Today we have to wait 2 to 3 days to get groceries and vegetables from Big Basket. Amazon also selling groceries and all. 2 days, 2-3 days. Can't we wait so much of time? So, and you see the reach. Some shop which is next to your house or near to your apartment. From those shops you will get, them, and it's going to be a big thing. So with these initial thoughts, I would like my co-panelists to pitch in and start the dialogue on. Thank you so much.
Sure. Thank you, Bikram. It was like you've touched upon actually all of the industries that are going to boom, and we are going to have an extensive discussion on that further. I'd request Deepika to probably throw a little light on the industry that she works on and how it's being impacted and what changes do you foresee?
Sure. Thank you, Rashi. Okay, a little about myself. I come from a background in psychology, did my MBA in HR, and worked in the retail/wholesale business before jumping into financial services. So coming to the financial services industry, I come from an accounting firm, and EisnerAmper is among the top 20 accounting firms in the US. And we are headquartered in New York, which meant we moved to work from home fairly early on, middle of March. And in terms of how the industry has been coping, there are a lot of deadlines that are there in the first 3-4 months of the year for accounting folks. So there are tax deadlines of April 15th. There are audit deadlines of February, and some of those deadlines moved, some of those did not, which meant that people had to actually get some of their deadline work out while they were working from home, while they were dealing with patchy internet connections, because everybody was trying to work from home. So that way, very, very tough times, challenging. We've seen a lot of innovation, a lot of creativity. And I think that really is what would help anyone sustain, from an organization standpoint, as well as individually. So, would love to know more about Jyoti, and we can get going.
Sure. So I hand this over again now next to the next panel, Jyoti, if you could throw some light on your industry and the work that you've done.
Thank you, Deepika. Thank you, Rashi. So, hi everybody. I am Jodie Balasubrahmanyam. A bit about me quickly is that I am a startup person, have started my career and spent most of my career, all of my career in startup. I started with financial services and then I eventually moved to real estate. And then from there, I went to services and now I'm into freight from, I think, for more than a year now. And talking about industry, because I have been working in startups, startups are kind of more flexible in terms of policies, and we create policies and we put them in place, and implementation is faster. And because the kind of crowd we're talking about, or the acceptability and everything is so flexible that things are not, I would not say that it's very easy to implement, but then they've been fast moving. So as a company, and I think as an industry, freight is more of a pen and paper industry, but the tech-based freight that we are into, because I am from PandoCorp, and we are basically into intelligent freight. So the tech part of it is movable, so that did not impact us as a company maybe, but I think the industry has got a good hit. So because the freight industry, as you know, is because it's very disrupting. Obviously, the supply chains have got disrupted. The contract freight isn't playing out as planned. The transaction volume is spiking. The shippers can't forecast their way forward. So obviously, at this point of time, I think digitalization is the most important feature of stabilizing the industry, and I think that is what the whole industry is trying to figure out with time. And while we are into freight, a lot of work that we do is with FMCG, and which we all know has not stopped, and I think has like literally spiked up a bit. So that part is still active. The rest of it is still trying to figure out how they can digitalize now and move towards a more smoother form of freight forwarding. But that's what the industry has been going through. Obviously, while we talk about it, we obviously talk about how the industry is scoping up and how can we keep everybody employed at this point of time, considering that this is a March season where everybody's was at least looking for appraisals and certainly not expecting pay cuts. So yeah, let's have this conversation started.
Sure. So thanks for a good overview of how you guys have charted through your journey and what your organizations are doing. So I think the most pertinent question that people have as of today is that how has hiring changed? Because, that's one of the main things. I think everyone at some point of their time is either an active job seeker or a passive job seeker. That's how mostly people are bucketed. So so I'd like to hear from all three of you on what were the trends, say, probably in a Jan-Feb time, what were the plans that you were having for the year and how they have changed given the current situation that we are in? And what is it that you probably foresee that, maybe once the lockdown is over, what is it that the steps that you as HR professionals are foreseeing in the future? So I'd like to start with Bikram. Bikram having the most extensive experience across industries. So I think he'll give a good overview on that. Vikram, over to you.
Rashi, I'll start with hiring. Definitely will going to slow down because today it's like supply and demand, and the demand is that how to cope up with internal resources, because there are a lot of jobs which will be redundant due to digitalization, and so organizations are trying, and they will be doing this. They will be reskilling their own employees. First preference will be to their own employees so that they are redeployable. They can do multiple kind of things. So a lot of training and learning will take place. A lot of online courses and all. So once that phase is over, the initial 5 to 6 months, definitely there will be a slowdown in hiring. And after that, my assumption is once I spoke about those three industries, the gaming, edutech, and the home delivery, e-commerce business, Another one I just forgot is the pharma. Pharma is will be doing a lot of traction will be there today. If you see the stock exchange, most of the pharma companies are at their 52-week high because there is a lot of demand. Not only domestic, also all the countries they need medicines and all. So a lot of traction or hiring will happen in the pharma sector as well. And I spoke about the skill sets, and definitely people who have not done those skills or not having those kind of things, they can start doing, say, a Python or R course online, maybe 3 months to 6 months. And then I will also urge them to use our L&T EduTech platform, which will be shortly coming. So you can get a lot of certification from there, and when you get certification from organizations who are already into that business, it makes more value. Than today we have so many online courses available, and companies they're giving like Udemy, then Udacity, then Aga Khan, then so many other platforms are there where you can get certifications. So it's going to be difficult. It's going to be persons with multi-skilled and a person who can learn fast. That is going to be the recipe. The person who will learn more things will be employable faster.
So thanks for that, Vikram. Deepika, I would like to hear your thoughts on how hiring has changed since before and after the current COVID situation.
Sure, Rashi. I would say that when we got into January, we were on a major upswing from a hiring standpoint. And, one of my major goals was to get all of our positions done and through within the next few months. And through February and March, as we started to see COVID gain pace, is where we started slowing down on the hiring. It's been more of a wait and watch since then. We did not completely pause hiring. We have hired for some really critical skills, but that said, beyond that, it's more of a wait and watch to see how the economy would respond. We are very closely linked to the US economy, which means that it's also how things would pan out in New York, in the US, how much our clients would get impacted. So I would, agree with what Bikram said, that extremely important right now for anybody who's an active or passive job seeker to continue to upskill themselves, to continue to gain new skills that make them more employable. Digital skills are definitely the way of the future. And if you look at, say, the application development side or the gaming side, there are not enough people who have high quality skills. So, great time for people to spend on themselves. It's easy, and it's also very natural to get stressed, but it really is about being able to channel that energy. Also, as Vikram said, reskilling current employees is going to be a major theme within organizations, definitely for us as well, especially as we may see some more free time. As I mentioned, January through April is our busy time of the year, which means when we hit May, we really go into a slower time. So for us, it's going to be a lot more technical trainings, which is audit related training, tax related trainings, as well as the non-technical stuff, communications, and picking up on all of your other skill sets. I did notice a question, and I'm going to jump in a bit. I know it was for Bikram, and this person said that, hey, I have a Zoom meeting coming up for an interview, and my only suggestion to anybody who has an interview coming up is treat it with all the seriousness you would an interview otherwise. The only difference is that it is on video. So, dress up, prepare, show up, have a backup internet idea in place. If you're logged in on hotspot, ensure your Wi-Fi is working. If you're logged in through Wi-Fi, ensure your hotspot is right there. and test your audio video with somebody before you get on interview. You don't want to be doing the testing with your interviewer, and kind of just go in with all the positivity and seriousness as usual.
Thanks for the tip, Deepika. I think that was one of the questions that all the students especially have been waiting for, because I think video conversations are still a little normal for people working in the corporates, but students have so far not got the exposure of going digital in terms of interviews, etc. So thanks for the tip here. Jyoti, quickly, if you could touch upon the hiring changes at your organization or in the industry per se.
So I would really be on the same lines as Deepika here. We were on a hiring spree in Jan, Feb, most of March as well. And my major goal rather at that point of time was to ensure that, and we were hiring for important positions and most of them being critical. And we did, and I would say that we did not stop or, slow down immediately. We were at a good pace in the beginning of April as well. But with the whatever is coming up in the economy, it's obviously more of a wait and watch. But it's also that we have not stopped hiring. The hiring for critical positions would still be there. I think what would have taken a back seat would be more of a sales sort of a role, because right now, even though we would take salespeople, the industries are not open to have those discussions right now. If the industries are not open, then having somebody right now at the place for some discussion would not be right. So, so I think it has gone through a slowdown for sure. What has taken now, what is happening is that the hiring slowdown has been covered up by training requirements of your current, people that your employees that are there, of course. Ensuring that everybody is aware of the product, even though when we are actually generally doing trainings in our organizations, what we do is that, we go very compartmentalized generally, that, this department needs to have this department knowledge first. But now I think due to COVID, everybody has become open to more learning, thanks to the time that we have in hand. And this is what I would go out and say to everybody, that the 3 things that people need to really do during COVID, I feel, so that it helps all of us when we move out as well. And that is what HR would also be looking at. Firstly, they need to expand and nurture their, their network. You need to network with people. You need to, you see there are a lot of live, audience coming in, and therefore a lot of live, discussions happening on various products, subjects. And it is no harm to grow across industry. It's okay if you've been in one industry for a very long time. It's always okay to have knowledge. Varied knowledge would always help you, but networking with people has been one of the most important thing that takes a lot of us a far way. Secondly, definitely, as Deepika rightly mentioned, that please, your video conferencing skills and your dressing up skills while you're working at home, and the way you're handling your work from home routine is very important. Because as Bikram rightly mentioned before in one of our conversations, that it's getting you're right in the middle of your household working for your office, and there's a lot of distraction. So make a routine out of it. I know it's tough to have a routine at this point of time, and it's very important to have one specifically. So you dedicate some time for yourself in terms of social learning or networking or learning about various this thing. And the most important thing that Deepika said, and I would sail it out right there, upskilling is the most important thing of this period. That is what Bikram has also said. And I think all 3 of us would stick to this through and through the conversation, that at this point of time, going out there and getting add-ons to your resume, getting as many skills that are complementary to your, interest, industry, or some skill that you would want to take up that you think would help you, in the future, might not have relevance right now. But if it interests you, please go out, do those things right now, because I think most of the organizations are also, trying to, I know a lot of organizations which have said that in this time, if you go through any sort of e-learning, we will sponsor it for you. So I think this is the time for everybody to go out and learn a lot while we are at home. and also maintain a lot of discipline and a routine. That's, I think, major. I think, yeah, Rashi.
Sure. So I hear all three of you saying that there's a lot of focus which is being given to especially the skill enhancement of the employees first. Again, that is, I think, a wonderful thing that's happening across. And people who are not being able to, say, perform their job at the fullest capacity because the jobs are currently entailed in a way that it can't be done from a remote location, probably. That's, I think, I hear that well happening across. Vikram, I would like to take up a question which has been constantly coming for you, especially given that core industries per se. For what about jobs which are, say, not currently designed to be done from work, from home or from a remote location, especially given the construction industry or any core mechanical jobs per se? So how is the industry looking at employing, fresh graduates who are just, say, a mechanical engineering or certain similar fields? How are we looking at restructuring their jobs, and what are the skills that you would like to suggest them to probably skill themselves up with?
See, specific to mechanical or even civil engineering students, I will say that a lot of mechanization of things will happen today. If you see 3D printing, okay, which is also known as additive manufacturing. Today, you can build your own devices. Okay, in L&T also, we have done a prototype 3D house, 3D printing house. That means you need not have to go to a designer or architect, get the design, get it done. It can be 3D print, and it can save a lot of time, a lot of manpower, because manual manpower is not required. And today I was seeing it's there in the news also, TV, and I saw in Twitter, Australian one guy who was made a 3D printer, 3D printing device which can hold or open the door and make things easy when you are using lift and all. So a lot of mechanized thing will happen, and which will reduce manual labor or workmen. Then IoT, Internet of Things. Many things, the machines will be, kind of connected with the control room, and you can control the machines from a operating room on something, uh, which is totally, done through IoT. So if you can learn the IoT skills, the core engineering students, it will be helpful, and the coming days will be the age of IoT, because a lot of things will happen automatically today in China and Korea, when they are manufacturing so many units at a very short period. This could be possible due to the automation and them bringing a lot of IoT devices into their manufacturing processes. So two things you should remember. One is 3D printing, the additive manufacturing, and IoT. These two things you have to learn and start doing at your leisure time, and all. See how you can connect a CAD, that is computer aided design, and make make some kind of things out of it, and producing at home. And in I have visited a lot of colleges and seen their labs which is equipped with 3D printers. A 3D printer cost hardly 5 lakhs to 10 lakhs range, and they could easily afford those colleges, and they started manufacturing small things. If you learn those skills, you can innovate and start doing like the chap in Australia who produced this holding things for the COVID time. So that kind of things you should always experiment and innovate.
Sure. Thanks, Bikram. I think we have a few questions coming up through Facebook as well. If Vandana, you could help us answer queries that are coming through Facebook, please.
Sure, Rashi. I will ask the first question, which has come from Mr. Shyam Sundar on our Facebook page. And he is saying that in this troubled times, senior level jobs are at stake across industries. I'm in medical device and I can already feel the heat. Any suggestions how we can actually, cope up in this situation? You know, Bikram, if you can take the lead on this, and then Deepika and you know,
Please
Jyoti can
repeat
add
again,
on.
Bandana. Bandana, please repeat again because I was typing to one of the chats. Sorry.
Okay. Yes, multitasking. Okay, so Mr. Shyam Sundar from our Facebook page, he wants to understand that during these troubled times, the senior level folks are, their jobs are at stake. Okay, he is in medical device profession and he's already feeling the heat. So, he wants suggestions from you guys, you are in HR, that how can they continue to be employable in such a scenario, the senior level folks.
I will tell senior levels are, little safe in that respect because, as per Industrial Disputes Act, also it's like, first come, first go. Okay, that means people who join first, they will be, asked to go first. And so in the legal point of view, you are safe. Still, you acquire the new skills or skills which is required. So you can think what kind of skill sets required in the next 3 to 6 months or 1 year horizon. If you are in medical equipment device kind of thing, I can relate because we had one L&T equipment medical equipment unit earlier. Then we kind of disinvested in that particular business. We are manufacturing some medical equipments. Today, if you see, as I mentioned, that pharma industry and medical industry is going to flourish in a big way. So what kind of simpler and easier devices which will come because you need not have to go to medical for all your treatment and all. I'll give you a classic example. Just few days back, we asked our medical officers that we want to send our prospective candidates for medical checkup in hospitals because nowadays most of the companies, they do pre-employment medical checkup before joining. And today, due to the COVID-19 situation, a lot of hospitals, they are not allowing this pre-employment medical health checkup. So tomorrow there will be, a kit. I'm telling you, I'm thinking that way. There will be a kit which, you can order online and it will be, delivered at your home and you do the testing, send the samples, back to the hospital and get it done. So think newer ways of doing things and all. So how you can bring those devices and all, and you can see where else in the world it is happening and which are the companies who are doing this kind of things. There's a kit which can give you medical health checkup tests and all. I did one insurance 2 years back, Kotak Mahindra or some life insurance. The insurance person came to my house and took my blood samples and everything, and they did the ECG and all at home. I did not have to go to the hospital to get this done and all. So it happened 2 years back. Now in 2 years we should further enhance those things and bring those things to our doorstep. So we do not have to go to hospitals. So earlier, for some sugar test and all, they have to take some samples and all. Today, it is a equipment. It is an equipment, small equipment which can give you the sugar level every day. So you can think, what way it is happening. A lot of R&D will happen in the medical equipment and research. So I can think you should not worry for senior level at all, because if you can think what the customer wants. I gave my own example that how we can do pre-employment medical checkup at home, that kind of process. So it's all a necessity. So necessity is mother of invention. So once you know that you are in trouble or you are towards trouble, you will come with some kind of inventions and innovative thought process thinking. I hope Mr. Shyam Sundar, I have touched upon your queries.
Yes. So I'm moving on to Deepika and Jyoti. First Deepika and then Jyoti. Probably you can let us know what do you feel about the senior folks in your industry, and specific, because Mr. Shyam Sundar is from a medical sector. but it is not just limited to a medical sector, or the healthcare sector. Let's probably explore other sectors as well, and discuss it out as to what would be the impact on the employment of senior folks.
Sure. I would say that senior folks would usually have a lot of expertise and experience, which at this point of time becomes very critical. What they may be lacking could be additional technological skills, and probably that comes back to what we spoke about, that reskilling is going to be super duper important. Um, Being able to innovate if I have a product that is suddenly not so relevant in the current market, how can I look at tweaking it? What can we do differently? That is really what is going to make the difference. Folks who have that additional experience have also seen different cycles. They understand their customers very well. So that's where additionally adding those additional technical skills, and I would say, the virtual world doesn't change much if you can still get together with your team for brainstorming sessions. You can still get together with different teams. So as long as somebody is a high performer, they are a great person to work with, and they are putting in efforts, I don't see cause for worry. I had attended a ICAI seminar earlier this year, and one of the things that has stayed with me is that if you are not actively disrupting your environment, then you are being disrupted. And that is very, very relevant right now, where we have to actively try and stay ahead of the game. Very, very stressful, yes, but that really is what the game changer is going to be.
Jyoti, what do you feel? Thank you, Deepika.
So, Vandana, what I would say is that yes, the senior folks of a lot of companies are bearing the heat, and the heat is obviously financial and a lot of insecurity that they're feeling right now. And while the financial heat is something that is, so what happens obviously is the senior folks are the first ones for a organization to go to for a solution in terms of any crisis. And I would say that they should just deal this like another crisis, and understand that this is a temporary standpoint of the organization, and the organization will value people who would stand by in this situation, talking in terms of financial heat that they're taking. In terms of their insecurity, completely understandable for each one of us. Each one of us who's at the industry, who's working right now, we all understand that, currently the employment is a very big question on each one of us. And while reskilling and, I would again stick to the same thing that Deepika has said, or Vikram has said, that you need to be innovative, you need to be reskilling, and most of it, what I think is that you need to be of strategic importance to your organization right now. So if you can come out and be a support in terms of understanding what crisis the organization is going right now, and you can bring on some strategic importance, innovation, reskilling, support on the table, I'm pretty sure that the reason that why we have such senior folks in our organizations is thoroughly for their experience, for their seasoned experience that they have gone through different stages in their careers. And if they could bring all those experiences and bring on the table something really effective for the organization to stand in this situation, I think they do not have much to worry. This is a very passing stage. It's a very testing stage for sure. It's a passing stage, and it will eventually pass. The financial heat will come down for sure, and the company will appreciate them for standing through the organization at this point of time. It's just about a matter of time, is what I said.
Thank you, Jyoti. In fact, I would like to add just one point, as you all correctly mentioned. The need of the hour is to make yourself count. And we usually conduct this session in Hindi and English because we have a lot of folks watching us on English, on Facebook, and Hindi English might be a challenge for them. तो मैं थोड़ा सा हिंदी में भी बोल दूंगी आपकी बात को, क्योंकि ये बहुत अहमियत रखने वाली बात है. सो बात ये है, छोटी सी बात है मगर बहुत पते की बात है कि आप सीनियर हो, जूनियर हो, आप ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के किसी भी लेवल पे हो, आपको ये बताना है अपनी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को कि आप में वो काबिलियत है जिसलिए आपकी कंपनी आप पे निर्भर कर सके। और आप आपके पास एक्सपीरियंस है तो बहुत ही अच्छी बात है, क्योंकि आप फिर 2008 के रिसेशन में भी काम किए होंगे कि किस तरीके से उस समय इंडस्ट्रीज ने अपने आप को आगे बढ़ाया और स्लो डाउन को फेस किया, जिससे कि इकोनॉमी वाज रेडी टू बाउंस बैक। एंड अगर बाउंस बैक नहीं करती तो आज हम ये स्थिति में नहीं होते। एंड द एक्सपर्ट्स आर सेइंग कि मतलब अक्टूबर 2020 तक वी विल बी एबल टू बाउंस बैक। एंड आई थिंक हम लोग सबको मिलकर के उसी तरीके से काम करना चाहिए जैसे हम पहले कर रहे थे। सॉरी, आई एम टॉकिंग इन हिंदी इन बिटवीन, बट आई हैव अ लॉट ऑफ फोक्स हियर who speak in Hindi, and I think that is the reason I just took this time to go. Please, over to you guys. Again, I have got a lot of questions for Jyoti specifically and Jyoti, so would request you to take up. One question is wherein Karan Sharma is asking to us on Zoom, to you on Zoom, is that entrepreneurial challenges post COVID-19, will it be the right time to start a startup? Considering you have worked with startup ecosystems, he wants to understand that from you.
The first thing that I would say is that the first challenge that is going to come is obviously dependent on the industry that one plans to enter. There are going to be a lot of entry-level barriers which are going to increase after the COVID situation. Obviously, eventually they would come down, but majorly in all industries, there would be a challenge. There would be entry barriers from the government side. So that is the first thing. The second thing that I would want to tell them is that getting funding is going to be hard, guys. I think that is the most important thing. We run on money. We all need money. It's not about the opening something. It's all about sustaining that. So, but you have to be really patient. And it's going to be hard, but the funding would come, obviously, but it will take more time than usual to get the funding. I would suggest that you need to plan a lot, plan, again and again. You need to have a lot of advisory, right advisory in the industry and the kind of product that you're entering into. And the most important thing, as we've said and we've spoken, is that what sort of solution are you bringing? Is it helping the times that you are into? And I think that's true with any situation, COVID or non-COVID. The product and the usability of the product is something that you need to try and test again and again before bringing it to the market, because obviously none of us want to fail. So I think these are going to be the challenges, I think, more or less. But what I would say is that definitely networking at this point of time, taking legal advices to understand what sort of barriers your industry has for entry, and being very patient. And I would say that, start networking already. If you're looking for something 6 months down the line, I think networking is the solution to get you through a product, get honest feedback on the product, and moreover your funding, of course. So I think that is what I would like to say here.
So, I have one question, which is again very, very important questions, because we also have students here, and students are really worried because they are supposed to do these internships right now, and even though they have got an opportunity to work on an internship project, but most of it is remote working or work from home based on the current situation. So they are really clueless as to will that be considered or it will be not be considered, or please throw some light, Bikram. What do you think?
See, no pain, no gain. Again, I can tell you that you have to take a little bit of pain, because nobody is intentionally going to defer your internship and all. Maybe some reason you have to be empathetic. Why the organization wants to defer the internship and all, but in the long run, the internship will be there, and you should volunteer even without stipend and all. You should get into, if somebody is offering you internship, you should take it as an opportunity to learn things. And going forward, it is not the physical knowledge, or I saw in the chat that they're worried that if there is no on-the-job training or on the on-site training, then what they will learn. Because you should understand that the world is moving towards knowledge uh, management, or knowledge portal, or knowledge kind of thing. There will be very, very less of manual things happening. I spoke about 3D printing, I spoke about IoT. So should accept that everything will be I gave example of my own daughter. She's online, Zoom apps, and Microsoft Teams. If a kid of class 5 to 10, they are studying in that way, so it is going to be a way of life. You have to accept that the next few years will be totally technology and knowledge based thing. It is no more manual and uh, going to site visits, or plant visits and all. It's going to be very, very difficult, because considering even if we start the job and all, there will be social distancing, there will be so many things. It's all good for human beings. So naturally you have to adapt to the situation, be flexible, and as I said, no pain no gain. You have to sacrifice here and there, and end of the day it will benefit you only.
So Deepika, my next question is going to be for you. Considering that you do a lot of campus hiring, tell me if you have, because in current scenario, people are only getting remote working internship. So, will it actually impact your category or criteria for, campus placement, for selecting a candidate from the campus? Could it affect?
No, not at all. I mean, we are all working remotely. This is a global situation. So if anybody is doing an internship, I would say great. You got to get started on your internship. That's the most important thing. And everybody loves interns. That's why we get interns. So feel free to reach out to people in your organization, have lunch meetings with different people. Nobody will shoot you if you drop them an email saying, hey, I'm a new intern, I'm working at this department. I thought I got to know that you do some exciting stuff and wanted to connect with you over lunch. I think we've all gotten comfortable with doing video calls with family and friends. So it's really just about taking that additional step, moving into being able to do more of this networking over coffee and lunch with our colleagues. So that's what I would suggest to anybody who's doing a virtual internship right now. And for some whose internships probably got deferred or they're still waiting, again, feel free to reach out to uncles, aunties, extended family, for anybody who's in an organization who could do with a spot of free help. And sometimes there may be something that you would be able to do. So it's all good experience. Reach out to more and more people. Everybody sucks at networking when they start, and it's okay. Just do more of it, you will get better.
Okay, thanks. One more question to add in there, and that question is: when you actually go for campus recruiting and on a normal day, probably it's not impacted by COVID-19. So you have say around 10 resume or 50 resumes. You pick up say around the 5 out of them. What are those key things that you look in those 5 resumes? They are all freshers from the same college.
Okay, sure. I will confess that I hate to chuck out people just on the basis of resume. So I'm very, very generous when I'm shortlisting resumes. But you have to end up removing a few. My top key things that I would be looking at is, the look of the resume is super important, especially when you're in a hurry. If I'm looking at a crisp one-page resume, if it's got some colors going, great. Even if it's not got color going, that's fine. Good fonts, readable. You don't want too much content, but I don't want to be looking at 5 lines either. So for anybody who's going to be applying for campus interviews or any interviews, always a good time to once in a few months look at your resume, see what you want to change, and catch hold of somebody who you think has good language skills and make them edit it. then catch hold of somebody else and make them edit it as well. So, always good to get a couple of reviews on it, because the last thing you want is to hit a grammar Nazi like me with grammar mistakes in your resume. So I think the attention to detail is super important. If I see a resume with a lot of mistakes, it just tells me that this person is not detail oriented enough, and I'm not too excited about meeting them.
Awesome, Deepika. Thank you so much for sharing this. And, while we did touch upon these things in our session last week, but it's always good to hear for somebody who is already doing it on the campus. So moving on to Jyoti. Jyoti, you are getting too many questions from the startup environment. And I have another question for you, which says, Jyoti madam, which companies will be better option for freshers to initiate their career, MNCs or startups? What do you think so? Tell me.
Thank you, Vandana. I'm really happy to answer all of them, provided I can justify. Startup careers for better option for freshers. I think you, as a fresher, we are not at the liberty of literally choosing that, and we do not, considering it's a COVID situation, I don't think we also have the the privilege of being choosy right now. What I would say in any scenario, COVID or non-COVID, what we should look at and what freshers generally do as a mistake when I was a fresher, I think I was also told this, and this really helped me understand, is that it doesn't matter if you're going to an MNC or a startup. Cut that myth of going to small organization is going to be tough. What I think is that you need to look for a role that excites you. Specifically, go to a role where you can get your hands dirty. Thankfully, the entry level roles are like that, but then specifically people coming out of great IITs or IIMs and MBA colleges and engineering colleges, we have a lot of dreams when we when we apply for a job, and when we want to try for an MNC or a startup for that matter. When you're looking for a job, you feel that, oh my God, you're just going to go on day one and change the face of the company. And change the face of the department, and you have such wonderful ideas and you're full of enthusiasm, and then you go and then you're just given a set of tasks and you feel it's so mundane. So firstly, try to take up a role which will excite you even in the most mundane time. You would want to go to office to do that work. You would want to stick to it. A lot of us have bad days, good days, all of us have them. But I think what's more important for you to realize is that would this work? Would I be sticking to this work for another, say, 2 years? When you're starting a career, you would not want to show a lot of jumps on your resume. So that is number one. And I would take this opportunity to tell people that why it's okay to join small organizations, guys. Small businesses do not hire just to fill a slot per se, small growing organizations do not have a huge organization chart. They're very flat structured, all right. And the first and the most important thing, because I started my career with a startup, is that what you're contributing. How are you contributing to the bigger picture? You have that visual right there. So while working with MNC is great, being starting your career with an MNC where all the structures are already placed really helps you give that growth. But if you end up in a startup, do not have a small heart that, oh my God, I am not having a big brand on my resume like my friends have or the people have it on LinkedIn. Do not worry. It does not matter which brand you're working with. It matters how big you make in the role that you get. So apply according to your skill set, apply onto what excites you, apply and work with an organization which is ready to believe in you and giving you an opportunity, and work where you would like to go to office every day. I think that's the most important thing. I do not want to wake up in the morning and struggle to go to office. I don't want anybody to do that. But just in case you do not end up in an MNC and you end up with a startup, do not feel that, oh my God, I have ended up in a startup. What will I do? When will I reach an MNC? Just try to make the best of what you have, because small businesses are not that bad, guys.
Thank you, Jyoti. And I would now move to Bikram. Bikram, I have one very, very important question for you, because the current generation, you see, everybody loves to hop jobs. Okay, one thing that is there for, and I love about your profile is that you are an L&T man. Okay, I haven't seen any move in your career out of L&T. And last time when I remember when we spoke about it, you were fairly excited. You said, I never felt like I'm working for one organization. I really want you to talk about it once again to my folks here, so that they understand that it is important to stay in an organization if the organization is giving you all what you need.
Yeah, Vandana, absolutely. There are very few companies in the country, which can give you that kind of interest. I'll take some cue from Jyoti, what she was telling regarding MNC or startup. If your interest is in you should follow what you like. And here, if you see in L&T, it's like I have done all kind of roles. Initially started my career with IR, then talent management, talent acquisition, then talent development. And so it's like, one day generalist, one day specialist. So I never thought, I am stuck to anything else. And today I'll give you a classic example, because today no IPL is happening, no cricket is happening, but I want to keep everybody a little more excited that if you see in today's Indian cricket team, the one player which is going to be most sought after is not Virat Kohli, not Rohit Sharma. It is KL Rahul. Okay, because he is the multi-dimensional player. Okay, he can come open the innings. He can play at number 2, number 3, number 4. Most importantly, he can keep the wickets. He is a brilliant fielder also. So for me, it all kind of started. As I said, I played at number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4 positions as per requirement and the business. You have to be flexible. You can't say that I'm only talent acquisition guy and I will kind of retired as talent acquisition or talent development, talent management person. Same way, and as an engineer, as a professional, you should not think I'm only doing this and pass. There is so many things to learn. Today I'm learning analytics, HR analytics, which is a big time kind of requirement of the business now. So this is what I urge all of you to be multidimensional, flexible, and ability to learn. These, if you adopt, and the organization which provide all these things, these are all recipe to success.
Okay, thank you so much. And one question which is again very, very important is a lot of industries are going through a very, very difficult time. Airlines, hospitality, automobile, and a lot of students who are freshers probably in this industry, and they are clueless because they were not ready for it, and they are just trained on one thing. What is what is your suggestion as experts probably to give them?
Vandana, you mean to say to the students or to the organizations?
To the students. My focus is right now students and professionals.
Anybody wants to take?
You can also give organizational advice. We don't mind hearing. I'm sure there'll be a few more professionals working in this organization who could, probably communicate the same to their senior level decision makers. So anyone can take this question. I think it's open.
Yeah,
Sure.
this is open.
I
can.
Okay, Deepika, I'll let Deepika take this. Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, Deepika.
I would say yes, difficult time, and it can be hard to see beyond the immediate horizon there. So I would kind of split it out for somebody if they have the privilege and the financial resources to spend a year more, maybe on an additional master's course, anything additional that would enhance their skill set. Do that and don't worry too much about the current job market. It will bounce back. We just don't know whether it's 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, 8 months, how much time we are talking about. So if you can manage, then, spend more time in your education right now. If you cannot and you still have to get in, do something, um, then don't be too choosy, and don't, get very, very, very stressed about not getting the dream job that you want right when you start. It may not happen, and it's okay. And I think being able to take a more long-term view of one's career is important at all times. I learned that after burning my hands, that it's okay to be patient and to take a more long-term view of your career. This is not forever. So, that's really what I would say. Nobody is going to judge you if you're an airlines person and you did something completely different for the 6 months that was COVID. It's completely okay. Jyoti, go on.
I think Deepika said it all. I think the mantra right now is that the business, specifically the hospitality and the F&B business, will definitely have a sharp rebound once the lockdown and everything gets over. This is what has the experts also said, and I would like you all to believe in it, that there would be a sharp rebound on it. Obviously, the businesses will take time to recover from the time that they have lost businesses and they have not been. Obviously, we all understand that businesses work on certain targets, and let's just agree that for this whole year, as in the current cycle of financial year has been hit drastically for the industry, specifically the ones we're talking about, and the business will take some time, but the rebound is going to be a sharp one. And obviously there would be opportunities coming out as soon as the business and the industry rebounds. Until then, as Bikram has said and Deepika has said, and I would stick to it, that just go on, reskill yourself, take internships, as Bikram has said, like beautifully, just take internships, even if it's not offering you much in terms of financials. Just take them up, put them into your resume, make your resume more specific, more attractive, more complete. It should be more complete, and the more your resume becomes a strong point for yourself, like Deepika already said, it should be crisp, and it should be one that Deepika picks up in one go. I'm pretty sure that you will land up in employment very soon.
Sure. Vikram, your thoughts, please.
Yeah, I will tell something. You should able to create value whatever you do. See, today you are talking about hospitality industries going to have a tough time. I will say there are a lot of opportunities for hospitality industry. You can see resorts turning into beautiful hospitals, hotels turned into hospitals. There are opportunities. Okay, if the business can add value to the customer and need, there is nothing like that. Already so many hospitals in the country and worldwide being turned into hospitals, hotels are being turned into things. So where there is value, the industry will move towards it. Same way as an individual or student, if you create value, whatever you do, there is no stopping. So today you can see the alliance between Facebook and Reliance, because if both together can give a bigger and better opportunity or value to the customers, everybody, it will be gain. It's like win-win for everyone. Same way, I'm anticipating, and there is always already the talks are there that Google and Apple will be, very shortly, come up with some products which is, very useful to the customers. So in the coming days, you can see there is another big alliance between Google and Apple. So things will, come which we cannot imagine, we cannot think of. So always be open-minded, open to change, and be flexible. That is what to the student community, my urge will be. Ajay, right? We keep telling, don't stick that I will do only this work. I have studied 4 years in this particular stream. What will happen to my, all these learnings of 4 years and all? Nothing like that. If hotels can turn into hospitals, why can't a mechanical, engineer become a machine learning, expert?
Thank you so much, Vikram. I think I hear you all saying that it's now the upcoming trend in employment will be more about reskilling yourself and also probably being multi-skilled. So far, a lot of us were on say one track. अगर मैंने engineering, I've done mechanical, तो मैं mechanical engineer ही बनूंगा and I will go to this particular industry only. I think that was the mindset, and that is what we have to break here and say now everyone's multi-skilling. Very beautifully how Vikram said that starting off as talent acquisition does not mean that I'll spend my life in one एक ही company में to do everything that the company offers is what would also be helpful for everyone. Just some final thoughts I would like all of you to share, say 2 minutes on the topic stay employable during COVID-19. Any last thoughts that you would like to say? Deepika, would you like to just to end the session?
Sure. I would say, first and foremost, stay healthy is most important. We will all stay employable if we stay healthy. And mental health is more important now than ever. So invest time in yourself. If meditation works for you, meditate. If music works for you, listen to music, sing. If dancing works for you, shut your door and dance. Whatever works for you, make time for it. There is a lot that you can do, and that's super important because everything we are talking about involves a lot of change. Whether we say reskilling, upskilling, if I studied for 4 years thinking I will do X, and suddenly X, the organization or the career opportunity is not available anymore, we're dealing with a lot of stress and change. So most importantly, focus on your mental health. And then if you have a bad day, it's okay. Everybody has bad days. Don't beat yourself about it. And, just keep going on. Just resilience is going to be the most important thing. So don't beat yourself up too much. Be your own champion, and you will stay employable, and, we'll all get through this.
Sure. Thanks, Deepika. Jyoti, your thoughts on this?
I was just about to say what Deepika just said. I would say that, guys, what we've not touched in the session, and we, as Deepika took it, that there is a lot of stress that we all have in staying employable and ensuring that we do get new opportunities. Everybody's upskilling. Oh my God, I got to upskill. Oh my God, I have so much of work from home. I have a lot of work at home, and I completely understand that the crazy has been called out. And it's officially the crazy time. But I think, guys, stress is very important, and it has to be managed. Deepika has already said what to do. Just address it, that it is frustrating to be locked up, and it's all right. You do not have to be hard on yourself or others. It can be as frustrating for others. So let's all be more tolerable, is what I would say. And as Deepika rightly said, whatever makes you more tolerable for people around you, please go ahead and do it. And most importantly, what I would add here is that please take out some time for yourself. So what specifically, I think Bikram said this before we were starting this session and we were having a small chat. And Bikram said a very good point that, for females, this time is a turnaround because, they are supposed to handle the kitchen and the kid and, the work. And yes, Bikram was absolutely right, and irrespective of genders, I would say, for males also, obviously, things that they've not done in their life, they're becoming chefs now, and they're becoming cleaning masters now, things that they never thought they would be touching. So guys, appreciate each other at this point of time. Please appreciate people who are around you. That would bring a lot of acceptance in the current scenario and reduce a lot of stress. Also, take some time out for yourself. Do anything like, music, dance, as Deepika said, reading, or something that, does not stops you from going crazy. Even if it's about like, watching a marathon of Game of Thrones or some series, but take out time for yourself. It's very important. A lot of us are not doing it. And hydrate and take out a little time for yourself. That's one thing. And secondly, 3 things definitely that I would say, Rashi, that people should do is that definitely they should network more, they should reskill, and they should try to make a healthy routine out of it, out of their work from home scenario. I think if we do all these 3 things, we'll get through before we know it.
Thanks a lot, Jyoti. Very helpful. Vikram, your last thoughts on this?
What I will say, Deepika and Jyoti, they covered everything. Okay, health is wealth, first and foremost thing. If you are healthy, then you do not have to worry for how much you earn and all these things. That is, I take from Deepika. Then Jyoti said, manage stress. Very important, because this is the time, so our true character, how to withstand this kind of thing. This is very temporary phenomena. It's not going to be there for year after year. So I think I left with very few things, but one important thing which I usually go to a lot of campuses and tell, that why we are worried about jobs. Why can't create jobs sitting at home? Okay, taking some input from Jyoti, I can also start learning cooking. I can be one of the best cooks, and kind of prepare nice dishes, and also train people how to cook online. So something out of box ideas can come. Most importantly, self-employment is the best employment. Okay, as I said, the big companies, the big conglomerates, they're coming up and merging. As I said, Facebook and Reliance, then Apple, Google. So many. So we cannot compete as a startup, or can get into these things. Rather, we can contribute in a small way to the society, training people, give our learnings, and start producing something. Today, technology is there. I spoke about 3D printing. If you can start doing small things, like I gave that example of the Australian engineer who came up with that COVID-19 holder. So that kind of things, if somebody can do at home, you can start producing, and it will be a big hit. So where there is a will, there is a way. I always say, where there is a will, there are hundreds of ways. Thank you so much, Rasi and Vandana, Deepika, Jyoti, and all these patient viewers.
Sure. Thank you so much, Bikram. What you just said, I would like to reiterate on that. Entrepreneurial skill, I think we have been talking about it. Campus pay, whenever we go, we say we want employees who have that entrepreneurial skill and that spirit to innovate every day. That's the future. This is the right time for people to sit at home and come up with these brilliant ideas. Even if you don't get an internship or you are not getting a job at this point of time, invest this time to come up with something new. If you put it up in your candidature, it might just help you in future employment. Thank you, all three of you. Over to you, Vandana.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much, Bikram, Deepika, Jyoti, and Rashi, and all our viewers for coming together and spending time this Saturday morning with us. सुबह सुबह मुझे पता है बहुत डिफिकल्ट होता है, स्पेशली सैटरडे को तो छुट्टी होती है सबकी, एंड मेरे स्टूडेंट्स के लिए तो समर वेकेशन चल रहा है. तो बट देन आई वुड एज आपको पैनल ने बोला है कि आपको मद्देनजर रखना है कि सिचुएशन पहले जैसी नहीं है, कोविड की सिचुएशन है, तो आपकी जिम्मेदारी आपके ही हाथों है. तो अपने आप को क्रॉस ट्रेन, अपस्किल, क्रॉस स्किल, सब स्किलिंग कर लीजिए. टाइम अपनी अंकल आंटी के पास जाइए, बोलिए भाई कि कुछ तो दीजिए हमको. ये मत सोचिए कि आपकी स्पेशलाइजेशन क्या है, नौकरी मिलना जरूरी है. जहां भी नौकरी या इंटर्नशिप मिल रही है, प्लीज ज्वाइन करें. मेक इट काउंट. दैट्स इट. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.